Hello and welcome to KennyRoy.com. I'm Kenny Roy and this is the Ask Video Mail for the week of December 12, 2011. Almost the end of the year. Thank you for being at the site and welcome to the new members. The Ask Video Mail, don't forget, is your chance to get your question in character animation or performance answered in a video just like this one. But I need your question if I'm going to answer it in a video. So please send me your questions. The address, as always, is webmaster@kennyroy.com. I read all the questions. There's no such thing as a stupid question, so just send away and take advantage of your subscription to the fullest extent. It's a lot of fun, I promise. Thanks for sticking around. I just want to say that, yeah, as always, it's just been such a pleasure doing the site, and I'm so encouraged when I see people comment on the videos and talking about the content in the forums. So just keep it up. Just keep up that great, cooperative and participation attitude. It's really the best way to get better. It's been a while since I've said it, but I know I said it before, but I'll repeat it. I learned basically everything I knew before I got my first job in 3D. I learned on a forum. And it was posting every single day, sometimes 5, 6, 7 times a day, every single day for about 2 or 3 years. And at the end of that 2 or 3 years, I had about 5,000 posts on that forum. A lot of it was giving critique, and some of it was just discussion. But it was definitely the best supplement to a hardworking attitude. Was that community feeling. So just keep it up and keep on encouraging each other and etc. You may have noticed that there have been a few changes around this site. I know I mentioned it before, or at least I mentioned that it was coming, but now that it's here, you can see that there are Facebook comment boxes on everything, which is just really, really cool. I like that. I'm going to be integrating a few more of the new features that MemberGate software allows into the site in the future. I may be able to actually do a little bit of at least a way for you guys to get the old videos without having to download them, to pay to download them. But I'm working on that. No promises. The software doesn't quite work how I need it to, but I'm talking to the MemberGate people, and we're going to try to figure that out. So, and you can also, if your Facebook email is the same email that you use for the site, you can log in using Facebook. I'm going to make sure that that link is working in the next week or so, but it'll be cool because you can log in and you can post comments on the video and on the articles, and it'll show up right on your Facebook page. And I really appreciate if you do that, because the site needs new members to stay fresh. It needs new ideas and people that are coming at the problem from a different angle. And that's how animation works. That's how we all grow. So don't forget to tell your friends and bring more people to the site. This week's question is very exciting. It's very close to my heart. Let's take a look. Great question. Thank you for sending that in. So bottom line, it's nearly impossible to put those micro expressions into your planning. So first off, right off the bat, I just wanted to say that you definitely feel it out. You do plan the moment that it's going to be there. Okay, so you do have a pose that's ready, that's kind of set up for that subtlety to take place. Okay. And the best way to get good at that is definitely reference. There's no replacement for reference at all. You can find examples of the subtlety in modern movies, but I find that old movies, especially silent films, have the most expressive faces in the world, bar none. I also want to encourage you, before I jump into this video, I also want to encourage you to make an effort to do observation. I was going to do a lecture on it but I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to find enough people that would sign a release after I filmed them to be on the site. I still might do that, but anyway, my idea was to do a lecture on observation, on where to go and what to look for as you're observing people. And I'll give you a few of those now. Supermarket is fantastic. Turn around after you've bought your items and then just watch everybody in line. See if you can come up with their story. Are they in a hurry? Are they coming from work? Can they afford the groceries that they're buying? Are they out of money? Are they thinking about something else? If they're thinking about something else, what are they preoccupied with? Is it work? Is it love? Is it something that's happy for them or something that's sad for them? Really good places at the supermarket. Restaurants are good too because you get two-person interaction. I just find that at supermarkets, it's weird because you have a person like scanning your items, but I find that most people are so far away at that moment. It's really an honest moment in a lot of people's faces. Supermarket's fantastic. Any public place really where people are standing still for a while, but going about their business. So like bus stop is really good. Park is good as well. But I really like the supermarket for observation. It's just super, super fun. So at any rate, let's take a look at some old film. I'm going to show you some Buster Keaton. I'm showing you this because not only is it old, but it's also public domain. Buster Keaton, if you don't know, was a silent film actor, and he also did some films after. I think they called them talkies. I can't remember what they called them, but when they finally added sound to film. But some of his work is just absolutely astounding. It's just so incredible, the power he has in his face. I downloaded this one. Let's just start it and take a look, and I'll point out some things that you should be looking out for when you're searching for reference, okay? You probably recognize this guy now. Yep, there he is. Now, he was called the King of Deadpan. And there's so much, one of the things that you need to realize as you're starting to animate subtlety in the face is that subtlety is basically minimalism. It's not doing nothing. It's not low energy, it's low movement. There's a big difference between low energy and low movement. So you need to plan for those minimal adjustments, but they need to be powerful adjustments. Okay, you'll definitely see a few examples as we move on here. But you'll just notice that Buster, he holds a deadpan face, and then when it changes even slightly, you get, because it's so slight, you get an even stronger sense of the emotion that he's feeling. All right, I just want to point out this one is really good. Oh, so amazing. Did you all see that? Okay, one more time. So this woman comes and hugs him, and he does this blink, and it's almost like a flutter blink, and his eyebrows move up just a tiny, tiny bit. Let's take a really close look at this. Here we go. So she puts her head on his shoulder. You see that? Wasn't that incredible? How like sweet and honest a moment is that? It's not just like, modern times they would never do that. That would never be a choice that an actor would make these days. The head on the shoulder, they would probably just like close their eyes and then just like hug him, like just totally get into it. Him, that deadpan face, that eye blink where it closes and then it kind of flutters and the eyebrows just moving up slightly. It seems like he's just having such a, like, it is so comforting to him, this moment. One more time. Isn't that unbelievable? It's so good. And then he notices something and he goes just a little bit more, over the top. This one is good too. I really like this one. So he is dropping off, I think there's a bank or maybe like where you claim like a ticket or something like that. Anyway, he doesn't want them to see his face. And he does this eye look over here. And it's so good because the eye dart, his body and his head doesn't move. But you can tell that he's like holding his body and his face so still on purpose. Watch really closely. How good is that? So they're talking or something. They're deciding whether or not they're going to give it to this guy, and they can't see his face. And then he's just like, all right, is this working? Kind of looking around, checking up on things. It gets kind of funny because they're like, hey, who is this guy? And then he turns away. Then there's just some silliness. This one's kind of funny. He gets shaved like really quickly. It's like really hard to watch because you think he's gonna get his face cut off. Actually, the barber used the handle instead of the blade. All right, this one's amazing. Look at the subtlety in the face on this one, where the woman leans in and she wants something and he won't give it to her. But then look at him get won over, just like in his face. It's just so subtle and beautiful. Here we go. It's like, no, 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 nope, I won't do it. And she's like, oh, please, oh, please. Whew, so amazing. That it looks so similar to his normal deadpan face, but it's just like a little bit more. What it is like, look how defocused his eyes are. He's not like looking straight and his eye line is right here or even on the ground. It's like instantly and immediately infinity, so far off. That is so subtle. When you turn to not be like this, like, oh my God, like you can see that I'm looking, that the point is right here on my desk. Oh, wow. But to like just defocus and just be gone instantly like that. Beautiful choice. I don't think it ever would be done today. They didn't have the same tools to rely on as actors do today. Super subtle, super amazing. Watch it at speed one more time. He just can't handle it. He loves it. All right, let's see here. All right, this one's good too. So he doesn't want this guy to know that he's alive. And just look at those little eye darts. This one's amazing. I love this one. This is the character. He's standing right next to a inmate at a prison, and he's the guard. And he just doesn't like how this prisoner is looking at him. Look at all the different thought processes that go on in his head just through the eyes. Those little micro darts and the little flutters in the face. I don't know the story behind this scene, but if I had to guess, he stole these clothes and is trying to make his escape maybe. And then when he sees this inmate staring at him, he looks around to figure out like, maybe hold on a second. Bam, his eyes lock. That's super subtle. Eyes moving all over the place. And this is a lot of eye movement for Buster Keaton especially. But the blinking and like the eyebrows down, that's very unlike him. So you know that he's making a huge statement, an even bigger statement than anyone else would with that subtlety. Okay? So this all has to do with minimalism, using small moves to make a big impact. In minimalist music, there's just this basically bed of sound. And then just boom, that one tone that just deviates. It sounds like the the biggest statement, the most musical moment of your life when that happens, because of the establishment of that level, of that energy. You see? So the exact same thing with Buster Keaton. All this movement around with his eyes, and then he looks at his clothes and then, oops, knocked my own stupid glasses off. But maybe I should take them off because I'm talking about my eyes. He looks at his clothes and then his eyes, boom, then they lock. So when you have contrast in the face as well, that's something that is a huge tool for you to use to make that impact even greater. Okay, so definitely something you should be looking for in your reference for sure is that kind of those moments for contrast. All right, so look one more time. All of these eye flutters, very, very, very. There's a lot of movement for Buster. All of that right there, and then looking around. Wait, what is it? And then close, and then boom, eyes are locked. And then he looks at his guard hat. Eyes go back to the exact same position, locked. So it's movement, 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 and then wait. Hat off. Look. Oh my God. Hat back on. That kind of subtlety. See how simple it is, but the impact is enormous. And then he says, well, maybe I should pace around. Uh-oh. I love that. It's so great. Oh, this one's funny. I'm not sure how much subtlety is in this one. It's a little bit comical, but so how to be a detective. He's reading, obviously. And then, you see that? Look how subtle that is. His eyes don't I'll try that, or oh my gosh, what a great idea, or anything like that. His eyes just come up like 5%, but they're locked. So it's that little fluttering, that movement when he's reading, and boop, it sticks there. Watch really closely. This one last one is very good. So he's losing at cards here, and he's got a gun pointed at him, and he wants to kind of lighten the mood, lighten lighten the air. And look what he does. No? No? Okay. Isn't that amazing? How he's able to appeal with his eyes, and then look at the subtle difference between this moment with his eyes and then right here. Just because we're used to seeing Buster's eyes, even if they're still, we see so much of his irises. He's got so much of the whites of his eyes. His irises are really small compared to the size of his eyes. So when his eyes are still, that's all we establish that. And then when he looks down, all of a sudden he looks so sad, so much sadder than you and I ever could look, because he's established that baseline. So above all, my advice is to establish a baseline. Plan for your subtlety in your face with those eye darts and those micro movements by giving yourself a wide berth, a wide open area in your blocking, a pose that's ready for it. Okay? But also make sure you establish that baseline so that your minimalism actually is really contrasted to what you've established in the face as well. All right? And hunt for reference. Reference is extremely important. Older films work better than newer films. They were just better at it back then. They had to be. And also look for reference in the real world. Go out and observe. There's nothing like going out and actually watching real people behave honestly to each other. Okay, great question. Thank you. Very interesting question. I like performance questions as much as I like animation questions. So you can send all. Don't forget, if you have an animation scene, I don't mind you send me the Maya file and I'll open it up. I'd like to do a couple more Ask Videomails like that in the future too, okay? Thanks a lot. It's been great. Good luck with your animation, and as always, rock on.